everybody, welcome to another Age of Grogu, and I got with me Elijah and Jason. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, hey.
Hey, so yeah, what's been going on this week, Jason? What's been news on your end?
I gave a talk at La Sierra College of Art and Design
Oh yeah,
this last week,
what
and
were we talking about?
I talked about art.
Cool.
It's like all I could really talk about.
Your art, right?
My art.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing they hold like every other month. It's like fam night, so they have like a guest artist to speak,
Cool.
and it's a college, so a lot of they wanted me to talk about like being an artist post college and
Mm-hmm.
just as a working artist and stuff like that. They try to get
Right.
like people to give talks and stuff, but it was cool. I had my projections or my animations were projected all over the gallery while we were talking, and it was a good discussion. My friend DJ was there. I met the professor at an art show I was having at Huntington Beach.
Right.
And then so I got to talking to him, and we were just talking about art and process and stuff like that, like what artists usually talk about. And he invited me over to give a talk, and that
Cool.
happened this last week. So it was cool.
Awesome.
Had a lot of,
Cool.
I think you learn a lot about yourself when you're forced to talk about your own stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's
Like
cool.
that's when you realize like your place in
Yeah.
the world
Right.
as an artist or something like that. So
Yeah.
it was cool. I was really looking forward to it, and it was a good turnout. And a bunch of people showed up,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's a good discussion. The whole discussion is I streamed it live on Instagram,
Right.
and the whole video is on my
Oh, cool.
timeline, so you can check it out if
Yeah, check it out. So it'll be on the Twitch channel, right?
no
Oh,
Instagram.
Oh, Instagram. Gotcha. All right. Have I got
Yeah.
your Instagram? I probably have. Anyway, yeah, that's cool. Awesome. I should have your
Cool.
Instagram down there. Anyway.
Oh, my Instagram's this. So this is my handle right here.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, now it
How's
disappeared
it
again.
going, Kobe? I'll put it in the
Colby.
chat.
Yeah, Colby watched it live.
Oh,
Actually,
cool.
when I went live on Instagram, a good amount of people showed up.
That's
It was
great.
crazy.
That's
It
cool.
was just like
Yeah, I was
yeah,
watching
you
it
can
for a little
make
bit.
comments on that.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, it was awesome. I
Yeah.
would love to give more talks. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Talking.
Yeah.
Don't we know
No,
it?
just talking about art.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I really like talking too.
Uh
But
huh. For sure.
talking about art is one of my favorite things to talk about, especially
That's
on the
cool.
college. I don't know. I've always wanted to be a professor, and
Yeah.
kind of touched on that kind
That's
of
great.
nerve. So who
Uh huh.
knows?
Yeah, Elijah. What about yourself? You said last week you were going to a rock concert because you had a connection there. Tell us, just recap on that, and tell
Oh
us how
yeah.
it went.
Fred, we had Fred Armisen contacted me about my miniatures through Instagram, and he asked me to go to, or invited me to a show that he was doing. We were just doing all punk rock covers.
Mm-hmm.
I took my stuff over there. He took a look at them, and then he ended up buying one of
Nice.
my miniatures. One of the first ones I did.
That's cool. One of these ones,
Icelandic
right?
record store. Yes.
That's cool.
So by number, that's the third one I made. So he's got the third one now. I still have the second one. The first one's actually in the record store that's that's in Iceland.
Right.
But he was looking at my other stuff. He really likes it. Like, he was very, very nice about wanting to help me. So we'll see what happens
That's
with
great.
that. But he was mentioning that like he'd like to do anything he can to help.
Getting your name out there. That's cool.
To get people seeing it. I mean, he's kind of like a perfect contact for that
Yeah.
whole scene and that type of genre and everything. I mean, he's really big on it, knows a lot about it. So, like,
Yeah.
everyone he was looking at, he knew what they were right away. It's like, oh, Crocodile, oh, Gilman, oh, he knew them right away. So that's like kind of like, and then also, mentioning, oh, you could do this one, you could do that one. I'm like, oh, I'm already, those are already on my mind, but like,
Right.
it's like one at a time type of situation.
Yeah.
So
That's
we'll see what
cool.
happens to that. But he was doing a show and he brought me up on stage and at least introduced me. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Other than that,
That's
I'm
cool.
waiting for work, but I start work on Monday, so at least
Nice.
I got a couple weeks of work coming up here.
Yeah. I've had a
Yeah,
pretty
Fred
quiet.
Armisen's the
Okay.
perfect generation for that.
Oh yeah, and he's got so many. He's got a lot of connections, and I don't know. It's a nice contact.
Where
He
is it?
seems he seems to rep that like punk rock part of his life a lot lately, post SNL and post Portland.
I think he really likes it. He has his old, he has got his his fake character, the Ian Rubbish. So
Yeah.
because it's like his fake punk
I was
rocker
on,
persona or whatever.
I was on his Instagram and he posted an old picture of him. So he had a mohawk.
Mohawk.
And stuff.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
see that?
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah.
But I
I was
went to that event that Elijah was talking about to meet
Yeah.
up, and it was cool. It was a perfect scene for your models because everyone was like, I don't know, a lot older, maybe in their 40s.
Right, right.
Just like old guys like
our age.
busting
That's
out
funny.
their vests and their patches and stuff.
That's
It's
funny.
like, oh shit, damn, these guys have seen the Misfits many times.
Now,
Yeah, but you're going there to see that type. You know, he's gonna do covers from those type of bands, so you're it's a
Exactly.
draw,
So
like,
that's
you know, it's
the
your
crowd that it
audience.
brought in, and it was
Yeah.
such like a fresh breath of fresh air compared to
Yeah.
like the many other times I've been out, like because of the crowd was like of a certain age. And like lately
Okay.
I've been going to shows or like
Like,
you know, certain shows that are like filled with like a lot of young people, and I'm
yeah, you're like, oh, I feel like the
really
grandpa
old.
audience.
I was gonna
Especially after this talk, like when I brought up certain things with the talk, like Tumblr, for instance, and none of the kids knew what I was talking about. And this is like college level stuff.
Wow.
And so it like
Wow.
reminds me of like how many generations have passed since I was
Yeah.
in school, or
Yeah.
like the internet that I remember is no longer the same like landscape
Right.
of what I was used to or what I kind of reference to. So like something like Tumblr would maybe be more like Pinterest or something, would be a lot more like what people are using these days instead of that.
Elijah,
yeah.
I was gonna say, whereabouts is it that he does his stand up comedy and stuff? If people are in
He
LA
does it in
looking-
a couple different places. Like
Okay.
he does a mix of stuff. He does DJ.
Okay.
He does comedy
All right.
things just on drumming, but he plays every instrument. So he does a
You
little
said
bit
he's
of
a
everything.
regular. He's a regular where you went
Yeah,
to,
this
right?
is Parliament Records, which was
Gotcha.
like right over Cypress Park, kind of like right
Gotcha.
over where
Okay.
State Take Two stages is.
Okay.
It's kind of like right over that in the area.
That's cool.
That's
but
like
it's
a
just a little-
monthly thing he does, right? Of what we
Yeah,
went to.
apparently it's monthly, or at least he's doing that for the summer. I'm waiting for the next time that he's going to do that. But it's really cool. It's like in a small bar, like next to a record store. So it was fun.
Cool. Yeah. I was about to say, nothing much on my end. It's been pretty quiet work-wise. So I've been commissioned to build a 3D model for someone. Something they sent me. I'm 3D printing it. I'm actually having fun just realizing that there are certain ways to 3D print these things where you've got better structure and better support when you're trying to print them out. Sometimes you print them out and these things don't come out clean. But I'm actually learning that as I go, kind of thing. And I'm actually starting to now also design my own BD droid from Jedi Survivor. Which is like I'm taking an existing model, but I'm improving on it and cleaning it up. There was a video that came out this last week that I saw, that I watched, because I'm not a gamer of Jedi Survivor, but it goes through, it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes long. It
shows all the cinematic sequences.
All the cinematic sequences, and I'll send the link, but it's actually a really solid Star Wars story. I mean, it blew me away, but it's also got some extreme detail. Technically, yeah, it should be canon, yeah, because it actually intertwines with both Kenobi, the prequels, and other events going on during the time of the Empire. It's actually quite a really cool, little story. And it surprised me. There was some little turns and twists in it that I just did not see coming. And which, again, me looking at a computer game story is like one thing, but it's like it was a solid story for Star Wars.
Nice.
So maybe we'll talk about it sometime if you guys get the chance to catch up, since you're both probably not going to play the game, I'm guessing.
Oh, right. Probably not.
Yeah. But yeah. Here's something cool. So some of the news during the week, guys. There wasn't a lot of news this week. Nothing on the small scale. There's a couple of big scale things that happened. But one thing I just want to pull out, just is completely separated from the toy section. Did you see this Batman Lego piece that they're coming out with? It's like an entire Bat cave.
That's
cool. I saw Dad Tuween posted that on his Instagram story, and I was
like,
Lego's going for it, man. The Lego's got like,
they
can kind of do whatever they want with their blocks, and like, man, they got something. It seems like there's something new every
They
I
are
mean,
pumping. They are
there's something new
pumping
all
out
the time.
content. Yeah, they're
Well, see,
pumping
Yeah.
out
that's like
content.
with
And they just
Lego. They
giant
have like
stuff.
holds of all types of IP, and they
Yeah.
work with it really well. You know
Well,
what I
not just
mean?
that, but they put like I mean stuff when Andor came out. They already had stuff on the shelves as Andor was coming out,
That's what I mean
and
by like they have a good.
Hasbro are catching up about a year and a half later on their
Yeah,
stuff.
they're
That's what
on
I
top of
mean by
it.
like they have a
Yeah,
good hold on their IP, but
yeah,
because like all
totally.
you have to really do, everything's existing.
Yeah,
If anything, you really have to design from scratch. It's the
hmm
minifigs,
yeah,
but like you just have to have builders
yeah,
make
totally.
whatever it is in the show, and so
Yeah,
they're pretty much like locked and loaded, ready
yeah,
to
good
go.
man.
Right? Maybe just print a few different faces, but everything's pretty standardized, so it's
Yeah,
pretty easy to jump on an IP, like to
yeah,
be first on the scene. Because like you notice like a lot of leaks you get for Marvel movies
right.
tends to be a Lego set.
Oh, totally,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
main leak because they could do it quick, man.
yeah,
Characters and all that information
yeah.
they have and
But
all.
this
It's
is
like
kind of pretty
applying a
cool though.
skin to
Like
like
it's again, it's like I don't collect Lego because I've got other expenses that I spend money
Man, there's
on.
some I really want. I still
But
want the
there's some really
Ghostbusters
cool ones. Yeah,
firehouse. That
yeah.
one I'd
Well,
still
the
really,
car
really
as
want.
well. The Ecto one is really cool too.
I know, but I
Um,
really like the firehouse with the
yeah,
figures. That's really, really cool.
yeah,
It's one of my favorites in recent times.
yeah.
Legos have always been expensive, I feel
Yeah.
like,
Oh
right?
yeah,
They
no,
always
totally.
have,
Yeah,
yeah,
even
even
back.
when we were
Yeah.
kids.
Well,
They were like
as
Yeah.
the Transformers or whatever.
yeah.
Transformers were super expensive.
Now I'm going to date myself, but this is way back. They actually designed and built a Lego table, and it was a round table with 5 seats that was all part of one
Oh yeah,
structure.
yeah. I
And
remember
and
that.
then you could play and build your Legos on little
Yeah.
place mats in front of you, kind of thing. But then it had a dish in the middle, a bowl where you put all of your Lego blocks and stuff like that. And this is
Brent is a
before.
practicer of illegal
Oh,
Lego moves.
I actually I don't know if I've got the photos, but I kind of designed my own Star Wars ships when Star Wars ships were never built out of Lego when I was a kid because
And he
I
used a lot of illegal Lego moves, dude. He showed me
what
pictures.
Yeah.
You gotta
yeah
go Lego jail, man.
oh like Lego chair for building my own
No, not for building it. You can build whatever you want, but you're using illegal Lego moves.
illegal. Why? How are they illegal when I'm
We
Glue
creating?
had a
duct
whole
tape
discussion
don't
on
count.
it. Like you knew what I was talking about, and you sent me pictures, and we looked at it. You're like, "Oh my god, yeah, Brent, these are illegal moves."
Wait. Okay, wait. But this is before they actually
Does
even
anyone know the
existed.
concept of illegal Lego building? No, I'm not talking about the IP, Brent. I'm
Huh?
talking about like how you use your blocks. Like
Oh, you meant
that's
like,
what I
hang on a
mean.
second. Oh, say, okay, right. This is what we built when I was 11 years old, okay? My brothers and I. This is 1981. AT-AT Walker and Cloud City. And yes, Cloud
Oh,
City,
that
I
see Cloud
definitely.
City
Angling the
Uh-huh,
illegal
blocks.
uh-huh.
illegal moves, dude.
Right. Well,
But I mean
but,
that was a result of having limited like
oh, totally.
shapes and stuff, you
No,
know?
for sure. Absolutely.
Because this
Yeah.
looks like first gen Legos. I don't want to date you, Brent.
They definitely were first gen Legos. But
It's
yeah.
just like 2x1x. That's it. No like fancy like
Uh-huh.
space parts and stuff.
Or illegal Lego smuggling. Yeah, right.
Illegal
It
Lego.
was,
Oh yeah.
but it was the only way to make something round out of Lego was to actually clip the corner of each one and make it, and it worked really
Yeah.
well.
See,
But
like when like Master Builders, is that the
mhm.
title they have for Lego engineers?
Yes,
Like there's a
yes,
whole book on illegal Lego
yeah.
moves and like you can't have
Oh,
certain
really?
attachments.
Oh, no
Yeah.
way. I seriously, I didn't know that. Oh, that's funny. Well, now I have
But
to check it
yeah,
out.
but like I mean it's probably an in-house like for the company.
Mhm.
Like you can't
Oh,
have a
gotcha.
concept where you're like attaching certain blocks. And
Right.
like there's like websites on it too, and like
That's
people
funny.
post like pictures of illegal Lego moves. But I mean there's ways it's structural stuff and it like compromises the pieces too
Gotcha.
when you build a certain way.
Sure.
But yeah, there's all types of stuff and
Who's
it's
going
not
to jail for
standard.
illegal Lego? Probably me. I just put it all over the internet.
Well, like child Brent, for, but that was just a result of having limited pieces.
Oh, totally, yeah. But man, they're fun. I
Lego's a
mean,
whole culture, man.
oh,
You
totally.
look into it, it
Yeah,
runs deep.
I know. I know. There's some really amazing stuff. They had a big Lego display in Pasadena earlier, this month, I think. which I was going to go to and didn't end up by getting the chance to go, but it looked pretty
Yeah,
phenomenal.
I saw a booth at the Maker Fair that I went to like a few weeks ago, and
Right.
they had a lot of cool mechanical Lego stuff going
Okay.
on there.
Yeah.
A lot of servos and stuff, man.
Do you know what the first piece of movie memorabilia Lego was?
Mm-mm.
Based around the movie?
What
And
was
what it
it?
was?
First Lego movie
The
piece.
first piece of Lego based off of a movie. What was the movie and what was the piece of Lego that they produced from it?
I don't
Um,
know.
Wow, really?
I don't know.
Max is working today. It was Star Wars and it was an X-Wing fighter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was their very first
It's like
piece.
they knew you were building Legos like back
Yeah,
in Australia for like Star Wars,
there you go.
and there's
Well,
like, you
of
know
course
what,
they knew. I sent
Brent
plans
kid.
of an X-wing and a Jabba's sail barge to. We had a connection. When Legoland would come around the country, and it used to come around Australia from Denmark. We made a connection to the person who's in charge of Denmark of their Legoland touring, and they basically left us a contact information. And every year we'd write a letter or something, and they'd send a piece back. But they wouldn't do that now, of course. But one of the things I said, I think it was in 1983 or 84, I was about 13 or 14 at the time. I drew up some plans of what would be really cool if
Oh
they
yeah,
would
yeah.
actually do a X-wing fighter or a Jabba's sail barge, and I designed both of them in a Lego form in my own limited imagination, and
Probably with illegal Lego moves too, huh?
probably possible. I can't remember. I drew it on a piece of paper. Unfortunately,
We've been
I don't
looking
have,
through the old
I
files. This
wish,
kid Brent has a great idea. Let's take
that's
his
it.
idea and
That's
make
it.
millions of dollars and
That's
not
it.
tell him or give
That's
him any
it.
credit whatsoever.
I mean, they
Lego
probably had-
owes you millions of dollars.
They
huh?
probably do. There was probably hundreds of kids that wrote in saying, when are they going to when are they going to release Star Wars Lego or something? But yeah, it was basically it. They had enough people writing in, and they said they'd like to see Lego.
There's
based
a Lego
around a movie.
executive out there that has a yacht named the Brent
The Brent, probably.
because he's like that good at that
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
That
There's a
great
little
idea.
kid. They probably got that piece of paper. I wish I had a photocopy of that way back in the day, because I would love to have that photocopy of my X-wing
I know,
fighter.
it's-
But it is coincidental that the very first toy that released was the X-wing fighter.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
People take the idea.
You're ahead of the game, Brent. What happened?
I was. Wow. That's an incredibly depressing story. Anyway, I was ambitious as a child, more ambitious than I should have been. Anyway, guys, other movie news. Did you guys check out this? The new trailer dropped this week for Mission Impossible 7, I think it is. Dead Reckoning.
Tom Cruise's plan to kill himself making movies.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yes. He's going to go
That's
on.
pretty much.
out-
He just
out
has
on
a
a
death
high.
wish. He's like, I want to go out doing Mission Impossible. So
Yeah,
let's,
I was gonna say-
every time you got to ante it up. He's gonna run out of
Yeah,
ideas.
The moment that he dies, it'll be on a Mission Impossible film, and it'll be the last one.
So what was this? What was this
Yeah.
stunt he did? He drove up a cliff.
He drove off a cliff. They actually showed part of it in the trailer.
Drove
Looks-
off with a
yeah.
motorcycle, jumps
Yeah.
off the cliff, and then paraglides like free, falls
Yeah.
down, and opens his chute at the last moment.
Yeah. But it's over a pretty rocky surface. It looked cool. I mean, there was a
It's
couple
crazy.
of good stunts that they showed in the trailer.
It's like it was a
I
pretty
lo-
hard
I-
surface. So if his parachute didn't work, he totally would have died.
Yeah, I enjoy the Mission Impossible films. They're just fun. So I'm probably
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
see it.
dude.
It comes out later this year. So
Go,
This is cool.
Ghost Protocol is the goat, though.
yeah, it was a good one.
Such a good one, man.
Yeah.
That was like Brad Bird.
Yeah, this I think number
Go to
6 I really
call.
enjoyed too. There's been some really good ones there. Other stuff, guys. Marvel news. They've got release dates now for Echo, which is going to be November 29th on Disney Plus. They've also got a release date for Loki, which is going to be October 6th, also on Disney Plus. Season 2, that is. Then this is the release date of everything coming out this year. Basically, Secret Invasion, June 21st, Loki Season 2, October 6th, The Marvels, November 10th, Echo 29th.
It's all the stuff
out
that
of-
managed to get squeaked by before the strike.
Yeah, pretty much. I think they shot most of this stuff at that point in time. I mean,
Yeah,
out
they've
of
been shooting
all of
Loki
these-
for a while. So
Yeah. Out of
I
all
guess
of
if
these-
anything, they need rewrites.
Yeah,
So the project just all in post production, finishing up editing and cleaning
probably.
up
Yeah,
and all
Yeah,
this
right.
especially
stuff.
if they're coming that soon. Uh, but yeah, out of all these, I think Loki's the only show that I'm interested in, really invested watching, and the Marvels is the only film right now I'm really currently invested in seeing. Is
Oh yeah, I
you
can't
know,
wait for Loki. They
yeah,
kind of left on like a cliffhanger.
yeah, they did. Yeah, I mean, it'd be good to see what they do with that story.
It was the
But
first show we reacted to, Brent.
it was too. Yeah,
Ooh, yeah.
yeah. Wow, it was a while ago. um, on top of this, they also have releasing the Mandalorian, the making of Mandalorian season 3, June 28th, on the Disney Gallery.
Hmm.
It's yeah. I mean, what can I say? I need to go back and rewatch season 3 again. There's still a lot of people that definitely have feelings that this is their least favorite season. I'm kind of like I'm on the fence of that. I kind of enjoyed some of that stuff, but there was other stuff that
I
just
would say
didn't
it's
work.
weaker out of the other two. That's for sure.
Overall,
That's a
there's
certainty,
definitely
you know.
weaker structured areas. They need
Yeah.
to go back to the week story of the week formula and build up to a finale as they did in the first two seasons.
It was all over the place. Like, I mean, we've already talked about it, but
Yeah,
like
no, totally.
being a live action Star Wars show, it's like the only way they could get like certain storytelling that has nothing to do
Yeah,
with the Mandalorian to like try
yeah,
to fill in, you know. So
yeah,
like they just need like a live action Star Wars show that takes care of all that stuff and let
yeah,
Mandalorian be Mandalorian, you know.
yeah. Now, this is a trailer from a movie that's non-Star Wars related that came out this week called The Creator, but it is directed by Gareth Edwards. Now, you guys got the chance to catch this trailer now, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, it looks so awesome.
Yeah,
The whole
it really
concepts
does.
and all that
Yeah,
just like
the very
my
believable
alley.
world. It's just got a realism to it that automatically you're just looking
Yeah.
at it, you're like, this is believable.
The robot designs look sick
They
too.
are really cool. Yeah, the well, then they're not robots as much. Well, they're robots, but they're AI. So anyone who hasn't seen this trailer for the creator, check it out because it looks pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard anything about this movie. It came out of nowhere. So they were very quiet and downplayed everything that was going on.
Since it's not like an IP, we haven't really
Right.
there
Yeah.
was really no platform to hear about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's interesting with all the talk, and we talk about this on your channel as well, Jason. With all the talk with AI and everything like that, artificial intelligence. This film is going to be released at the right time for people to invested to check it out. I mean, it looks kind of got elements of Terminator, but totally different at the same time. There seems to be this,
Because yeah, there's like a judgment day kind of thing.
yeah,
Like they nuked us.
yeah,
And it's like a kind of a reset in the world.
yeah,
But in Terminator, it's more of like
wipe
I feel
out,
like
annihilation,
Annihilation.
yeah, they
annihilation,
annihilate
yeah,
them, and
yeah,
so like we're
yeah,
all just kind of stuck underground, and
no, yeah,
everyone's like a warrior.
yeah,
Their purpose is just to kill all humans and walk around and just
Yeah.
like do nothing.
yeah.
Whereas like in this one, it's like people have just gotten a lot more. I guess I mean there's still like a good amount of people, right?
It
There's
seems
just
to
these
be,
community. It seems like a civilization built around like the existence of
yeah,
robots as well.
yeah.
But yeah,
And
that's some cool stuff.
yeah, it looks visually looks
It's a
amazing. Production design
fresh
looks
a
incredible.
fresh take on like a pretty like used genre, like a genre
Yeah,
that's been around for a while.
yeah,
But then like the discourse on it changes as the world continues
yeah,
because a lot things are more complicated, like politically and like
yeah,
society wise.
yeah,
So it's always good to have a new take on like a classic
yeah.
scenario.
And as I said, it looks like it's coming out at the right time. It comes out later this year, so there's been so many good movies that are coming out this year that I want to check out.
Well, we don't know they're good yet.
Well, they
That's the
look
thing.
good.
They
They
look
look good.
cool.
A lot
They
of
look
Yeah.
potential for
yeah,
cool
a lot
movies
of
coming
yeah.
out.
I'll rephrase that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's Little Mermaid's out this week, which I kind of want to check out. It's my favorite Disney film that I haven't mentioned before. Anyway,
I forgot. Did you see that clip on Instagram where someone was watching
uh,
a Little Mermaid trailer and it had
hey Malloy, how you doing?
Transformers superimposed on top of it,
Yes, oh, the Little Mermaid. I did watch that. Oh my
and
god,
it's all the beats
it's
sync up perfectly,
it's almost like the same person did the same trailer and edited it the same
right?
way.
Well, it's kind of like there's a standardized structure
Yep,
for trailers for
sure.
like
Yeah.
like
Oh, every
blockbuster
second that
film,
goes by, like it's still like
yeah, because it hit all the
hits in
same
a
beats
certain
at the
it
way,
did.
same exact
Yeah.
time.
I
So
wonder
there's like
how.
a overall structure that they
an
have to stick to.
algorithm.
That's like a guaranteed, like, oh, this is how you do
Yeah.
trailers, especially
Yeah.
for like big IP, I guess.
Sure. No, totally.
Because those are two really big films, right? Like
Yes. Yeah.
they're not
Yeah.
like
Transformers
indie
and
or
Little Mermaid.
whatever. It's
Yeah.
Little Mermaid and Transformers, and
Yeah.
they're just pretty much on the same like
Yeah.
kind of structure.
Yeah. No, that
But
was
it was
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
It made the Little Mermaid trailer look cooler. That's for sure.
I'm curious to check it out. I mean, I know it's going to just be a carbon copy of the animated film, but I love the animated
Check it
film
out when
so
it's on
much, so-
Disney Plus.
Fair enough. It makes sense. I mean, you got that, but then Spider-Verse is out the following week, so it's like across the Spider-Verse. So I definitely
Yeah, I
want to go
can't
check
wait.
that out in the theaters.
What's up, Malloy? What's up,
Um,
nerd?
So yeah, let's talk about Disney Plus just for a second. They've been doing some weird stuff going on. They are removing a whole pile of their new shows, including Willow, which we did check out and review and react to, as well as a few other shows that obviously are not doing so well. And they're literally removing them. Now, usually what Disney have done in the past is on DVD and VHS and Blu-ray and all that, they would release a movie for about a year or two, and then they put it back in the vault, where they would actually make it disappear and then bring it back 5 years later. And I thought,
Kind
you
of
know,
create demand
exactly,
by
you
doing
create
that.
demand by doing that. But this feels different. I don't think they're putting these shows away for that to bring back later.
They're
Maybe they
they're
will.
putting it in the burning pile that was in
Yeah.
Toy Story
Is that
3.
because they're merging with Hulu and they don't want that on their platform?
No, I think it's because the shows didn't do well. And I read this rumor out there. The
Does
shows
it cost
didn't do
them
well.
to have it on their servers or something? Like, is
It
this
might.
cost effective
Well,
for them to remove them totally?
it might if it comes to rights and residuals and stuff like that. It's the only thing I can think of that actually is connected with any sort of. They would have to pay out residuals for the more it plays, and if they're not prepared to actually do that, then they have the ability of removing it, which is a terrible thing for the people who might be getting residuals. I could be completely wrong. We don't know if anyone's getting any residuals for these shows.
Man, Disney's
But-
that broke, huh?
But Willow is
They're only making
been out for
billions
like
of dollars.
6 months.
Yeah.
It's weird that within 6 months some of their primary shows are already being taken off. You'd think they'd take off older shows and then bring them back again a few years later, but we don't know the outcome of this final thing. So it seems like Willow's dead in the water now. If they're gonna
We
be
saw
cutting this.
HBO do this months ago, right?
Really.
Where they just remember, like you talked about it.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was just like
That's
they just took
yes.
out a whole bunch of animated shows
yeah.
that
Now,
you can't find anywhere anymore.
Other thing is that the other thing is it's space. How much space have they got on these servers? I imagine
Is that an issue at all?
I don't know. That's what I mean.
don't think that's a thing.
I don't know how that stuff works, and that's where it's like it could be a matter of but to pick new shows, that's where it's a bit weird.
Look at what Disney Plus has on their roster. Like
Yeah.
that's just there to watch.
Yeah.
It's the most random stuff that no one probably ever watches. I doubt it's going to
Possibly.
be space that they're running. I was like,
Right.
oh, make way
Yeah.
for other stuff. Let's get rid of
Yeah.
Willow because it's taking up too much space on our servers. When they
Yeah.
got like this random ass show from like Disney Kids
Yeah.
that I've never even heard of before. or
Yeah,
anything
well,
like
we
that,
know
you know?
that. Yeah, but we definitely know they're trying to save money. So that's the only thing it could be is that residuals of some sort.
So the residuals that they're getting from that is a net negative for them because they have
Yeah,
to pay off the
pay out
people that they're
money.
owed to.
Exactly.
That says a lot about what Disney is,
Yeah.
right? Especially among this
money.
whole like talk of like the writer strike of people not getting what they deserve,
Sure.
and to
Yeah.
give if someone actually has a chance of getting residuals for something they made,
Yeah.
they'd rather just take it off air than actually pay them.
Now again,
That's
everyone out there,
ridiculous.
we are hypothesizing this. We don't actually have any evidence. It is that, but
But this isn't
it
outside
feels
of
like-
Disney's.
No, no, that's
isn't
the thing.
outside
That's
of their
what I mean.
nature, though.
Yeah, no,
Like
it's
this
not-
is
it's- no,
totally
you're
a
right.
move that they would
You're
do,
right.
and it wouldn't
Yeah.
be hard. It's not that far fetched,
Yeah,
guys.
no, totally. And then on the positive side, the reverse side of that, on Disney Plus, I think it was either June 30th or something like that, or June 20 something, at the end of the month or July or whatever it was, they are releasing all four Indiana Jones movies on to Disney Plus, as well as the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. May 31st, sorry, at the
Oh,
end of this month.
So they had to save room in their servers
yeah.
for.
We have to download
For
the DVDs of Young
but
Indiana Jones Chronicles onto our platform.
but here's the thing. I don't if you haven't watched them, they are not action adventure kind of stories. They
Their
actually
education. It's
they're educational.
education,
Yeah,
or it's
and they're solid stories and they're solid
yeah,
educational. I enjoyed them thoroughly. And
edutainment is what they
edutainment.
call it.
And they have not been seen since they were released on DVD 15 years ago. So I'm one of the few people that I know of that's got the DVD set, but I don't know if they're going to upgrade the actual visuals and stuff like that. The
You're
actual
the only
footage,
person I know who ever talks about this show.
because
Yeah.
it's solid. It's good. It takes place. If no one knows about Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, it takes place at two stages of Indiana Jones's life. One when he's about the age of 10, and one when he's about the age of 16, 17, kind of thing. So it goes through these different stories, different adventures. Not adventures, but well, slight adventures.
Well, it
But they
plays
bring
on
in,
the.
yeah, they play on historical characters and events of the time around the turn of the century of the 20th century.
It's kind of
And
like just him, like Forrest Gumping his way through history.
pretty much, yeah. It was the Forrest Gump before Forrest Gump was even made.
Is it
And
River Phoenix?
no,
No,
it's
it's
not River
not.
Phoenix. It's Sean Patrick Flannery plays 16-year-old Indiana
Sorry,
Jones,
Malloy.
and
River's only in the
yeah,
River's only in the Last Crusade.
yeah. Patrick Flannery's the older version, and you see him on the right there on that image. That's I can't remember, Corey Burton or something. His name
No,
was on
River
that.
played him once
We played
in
him
the
once.
intro of the
Yeah,
third film.
and River was awesome. Like I thought he played a great
Yeah, he did
young
a
Indiana
good
Jones.
job.
It was Harrison Ford like vouched for him too. He's like, "Oh yeah, I want River to play. Oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
want River to.
Oh, the River to play. Yeah,
I don't care. Just get River."
yeah.
God damn it.
But yeah, I'm excited to. I'm excited to watch it again because I could sit and watch them on DVD, but the quality of DVD has fallen apart over the years. So I'm hoping that they'll have a bit of a clean up and all that. So and
I'd like
yeah,
to think he like smoked. He was like smoking weed with River one
Harrison
time.
Ford
And,
Oh,
like,
probably,
for sure.
yeah.
probably,
Hey, come
He's
here.
like, "Hey,
probably.
you want to play me?" And
And
yeah,
speaking
this
of
thing
Harrison
called Indiana.
Speaking of Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, over in Cannes they just had the kind of world
Cannes.
premiere. Cannes,
Cannes.
sorry, Cannes, Canse, whatever. I don't know.
Yes,
With the silent S,
it's
as you keep telling me,
French.
Jason. It's
It's
French,
crazy.
so
It's
no
stupid.
S.
It's
It's
French. It's
just so
dumb.
it's not Cannes.
Why do they have these
it's
letters there that you
Cannes.
don't use? I don't know. Blame French, man.
A big film festival in France had them play the Dial of Destiny, confirmed runtime of 2 hours and 34 minutes, which makes it the longest Indiana Jones ever. But it kind
Longer
of
than
came
how
out.
Crystal Skull felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I enjoyed it. We did a reaction and we're going to drop it close. I'm going to edit that together. And we did one a little while ago and I've been waiting for Indiana Jones to come out. So we're going to drop that reaction in the coming month of what we've... Well, at least what Jason
Louis.
thought. Jason hadn't seen it before. But yeah, Indiana Jones coming out. It didn't come out to great reception. There's been kind of lukewarm critics... giving it and panning it, which is a bit
Lukewarm.
scary.
He got a standing O in Cannes.
Harrison Ford did.
Yeah, I mean, of course you're
But
there.
this
like,
is where
you know,
but
it
this
has
is
to
where
be
the critics
Ford.
watched. This is where the critics watched it
obligated.
too.
It's like they're not an applaud sign, but it's kind of
Yeah,
there.
but this is also where the critics actually
Please clap.
watched it too. So it's a bit nerve wracking.
Yeah, they got like a
because
30% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that.
I think it's a little higher than that now. It started off that it was some stupid.
What's
little
that
thing.
screenshot you sent? It was like 30%. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it said it, but it was only 12 reviewers, so it's like that doesn't say much. But yeah, I'm still excited to see this film. I personally don't take into any effect what reviewers say. I will like to
Unless
make my
it's
own
good
decision.
reviews.
Huh?
Unless
Well,
it's good review.
but even
That's when I'll
then,
pay
but even
attention to
then,
tomatoes.
oh no,
Like, it's got a
but
99% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I've seen films that are 99% that totally don't just gel with me. I don't particularly, enjoy them or something like that.
Well,
And
yeah, if something's too slow, Brent won't like it.
probably, but it's not to say it's a bad movie or a good film.
Lead line. Everyone always talks about the
To-
fridge.
Oh, come on. The fridge is fun. It was silly. Anyway, this film doesn't go into the silliness,
Too
and apparently
silly.
that's the complaint now. The complaint is that it's all too serious and all too drama, and it's like,
Where's
come
the
on.
monkeys with?
Well,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
trying
Where's
to
the monkeys
make up
So-
for
singing
how
like
silly
Tarzan?
Crystal
So-
Skull got. You
Yeah,
know?
but here's the thing though. People are complaining that Crystal Skull was too silly and too over the top and too stupid.
It
and,
was.
And critics are
Definitely
complaining
was.
that this film, Dial of Destiny, is too serious and not enough pacing with the character and this.
That's
and that.
fine.
It's
I'll
like-
take very, very serious.
But he's
very serious.
freaking like 79 years old, Harrison Ford. It's
He
like,
ain't got
what do
time
you
for this
expect
shit.
a 17? They could. James Mangold will take it realistically.
You should
He's
really
doing it-
play in how senile he's getting, you
He's
know?
2 days of retirement. He's almost off the force. He's like at the end of his
See,
job.
You should just go
suckle
senile.
up the fridge and not the monkeys. Okay, all right. So yeah, the
They should
monkeys
just,
were a
they
little
should
silly.
just they should just play into him being senile, like a Mr. Magoo, kind
Yeah.
of with a.
Possibly, I don't think Indiana Jones ever
Weird.
got senile as an older person. Though I think he's
He's
pretty
sharp.
He'd
As
be
sharp as his
he'd be
dad.
Sharp, yeah. Anyway, that film still comes out at the end of next month. I am
Wait, so
very
at
much
this-
excited for this. Tickets go up on Monday.
In the last Indiana Jones, was he older than Sean Connery was in
Oh yeah, way older.
Last Crusades, right? And that
Yeah.
was like the last one. So he's like way older.
Sean Connery's only 12 years older than Harrison Ford. Or was, I should say. Which is kind of saying something that he'd be 12 years old when Harrison
Like your
was
dad or
conceived,
whatever.
technically.
Well- The 60s does a number on you, man.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he
All the
looks
smoking
way-
and
Before
beating
the 60s,
women will
it is, and,
age
like,
you.
in the 30s, whatever.
All the slapping women will age you, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I'm still hyped. What about you guys? Are you guys hyped for Indiana Jones style?
Not as hyped as you are. You're obviously really hyped
I'm
about
really
it.
hyped. Yeah, yeah.
I'm, open to watching another
cautious.
Indiana Jones
I'm
movie.
cautious. That's for
cautiously,
sure.
it's returning to like an abuse.
Fair
It's like returning to like, we'll see. We'll just see.
Yeah.
As,
I've
as,
been like that
as,
many times. Hopefully, it's good. Yeah, I'm not expecting the world. It's not going
I'm trying to-
be. Go ahead.
I'm trying to I'm trying to fight the cynicism that is plaguing my mind these days, you know?
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean,
It's kind of
that's-
hard to take things to be so like genuine about things these days because everything's kind of just
Yeah.
trash.
I already know it's not going to be
Absolutely
exactly
right.
what I want, but everybody wants different things, and we can't all.
That's it.
Whatever. It's like if I can accept it, it
That's
feels
the
like Indiana
problem
Jones.
with
It's a different movie.
that's the problem with nostalgia farming.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna touch on a lot of things that people hold dear to their hearts, and
Right.
especially if you're
Yeah.
going on something that people hold so beloved, like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
You're gonna by trying to reach out to new crowds,
Yeah.
you're gonna let down a lot of fans who've been there from the beginning.
It's also
And
a
if you
different
want to try to
generational
if
thing.
you're trying to attach to the existing fans too much,
Mhm.
you're not going to get new people. So it's always, this is the dilemma that
Yeah.
you'll always have to face when you come back to an old franchise.
Yeah.
We're watching Star Wars do this all the time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every
you're right.
single
Yeah.
Star Wars thing that gets released
Yeah.
gets like hounded by everyone.
Except for Jedi Survivor for some reason. People are saying that story's amazing. But anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that's like games.
Which
It's
it is amazing.
if it's a good game,
But it's
then
but
no one
if-
has anything to complain about,
Right,
know?
but-
because
but
it's
You're not
doing
really
its,
immersed
but-
in the
but
game if
even-
you don't play it. You
Right.
just
Doing
can't
its-
watch it
no,
online.
but I
it's
agree.
doing its job
Jedi
by
Survivor
being a good game.
Jedi Survivor's story outweighed some of the Disney sequel films.
I'm not surprised, dude,
It just
because
it
a lot
was-
of the Disney, the Disney era of Star Wars is it's not that bad track record, man.
it's a bad track record and it's nostalgic, and I agree. There are things that definitely don't work, but there are some fun things that I just purely enjoy that work in their shows. I'm not gonna enjoy everything. There's definitely things that did and didn't work for me on every single show they've released. But at the end of the day, it's like I love the universe still. I still enjoy the universe that George Lucas created. So as long as it stays in its retro kind of what's it called? What's the name? Retro analog style of look and feel and vibe. And as long as the characters are simple enough and basic enough to get from A to B to C and have fun doing it, I'm always
Yeah,
going
as
to
long as they
enjoy some
stick
of its
with the
parts.
Star Wars aesthetic, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's
Which
it.
is
Yeah,
why I like this whole like, just makes like the a certain generation of Star
yeah.
Wars films great.
I disagree. Rogue One was good, but
Well,
I personally
Brent's
like Solo a little bit better,
yeah,
actually.
Brent's favorite is Solo, but because Darth Maul's at the end. That's like the
No,
main
it's got
reason
nothing to do
why
with it.
Brent
I
likes
saw it, Jason. I saw it with you,
Nothing to
and
do with
good
it.
God, it
That's
was
what
so
you
much.
said.
But it was so
that
much
is the,
fun to. Yeah,
but that is what you said.
right.
You're like, because Darth Maul was at the end. That's
No,
why I
no,
love
no,
this
no,
so much
no, no.
because
Because I saw it
references
with
the
you. I had to
because
the
it
Clone Wars series.
references the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
that's why he loves Solo
Uh huh.
so much.
Uh
But
huh.
Solo was good. I have no issues with
Yeah,
it.
it was fun.
I thought it was
Again, that
great.
was the mindless fun journey that I want to
The
see.
whole bringing the whole concept of like a droid rebellion is great.
Yeah.
That was
Oh, you and
awesome.
droids again. Jeez.
What's wrong? Why can't I
Nothing,
like the
nothing,
droids?
nothing. When things get quiet,
I
we're gonna
feel like
do a. By the way, when things get quiet, I've started to pull up a Gonk tier list, and we're gonna do a Gonk tier list. I haven't put it
the
together yet, but I've got all images pulled, so it's like
All the
spoilers,
gonks.
guys. They're all S tier
Yeah,
just by
like all the
being
gonks.
gonks.
All the gonks
it's.
are way up there. You
It
gotta be a really
depends. It
generic. You gotta be
depends.
a
It
really,
depends.
really like
It depends.
trashy
Nah,
gonk.
OG gonk, dude. The first one you see in the Sandcrawler, S tier.
Yeah.
Double gonk that
My
gets
favorite
exploded
looking
and
my favorite design one is from The Empire Strikes Back. It's sitting there in the ice in the Hoth base, and it's got these little pedally things. They almost made an action figure from it for the
Ooh.
12-inch
you gotta
figures,
do
and it
all of the
was
gonks,
on it from
man.
Hot Toys. Yeah, I know that'd be cool. One
All of the
day,
gonks. I mean, I find
I'm getting to the point. They're simple enough to design. I could 3D print them and resin print them for you, or you could resin print your own. I could actually design them. Well, you could design them too.
yeah, they're easy.
They're very
Yeah.
simple designs, but
There's already designs out there.
oh yeah,
Every time a new gonk appears, you can find it on Etsy, dude.
yeah, sure,
Like the
totally,
cylindrical one.
yeah,
But I don't know. I find
yeah.
droids a lot more fascinating than
I
the
know you do.
Jedi's, honestly.
See,
Just
yeah, I feel like that for anything in Star Wars to work, that the Jedi have to be somewhere in that story arc, and the more that I'm looking at it, it's really about how they can tell a different story on the Force that I enjoy seeing what they can do and how they challenge that. And if done right, it's done very well. But you know, the sequels I don't feel did that right. I feel like they kind of challenged different things in there. And again, we're gonna have a sequel talk one day. We'll figure it out. We'll do a full-on sequel conversation about what worked and didn't work. But yeah, so anyway, that's Indiana Jones. Is that? So let's jump to the other thing that Disney. There's a lot of things that happened when Kathleen Kennedy was off watching Indiana Jones over in Cannes. that happened while
Like
she
she's
was
gone.
kind of
Here,
like
let's
there.
announce all this
The
stuff.
other thing that
does she
got
really hold everything together? Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
no, I'm saying it's like she walked away very precipitously, right as things were about to fall apart. Like Willow
I
being
feel
taken
like
off.
she knew and she just didn't want to be in the country when it all happened.
But it all happened this week. It's like it literally. I think that's the reason because Willow was shut down. They knew they were going to get some flack out of that. Disney
No,
is
but
closing.
what I'm
Start
saying is
to
that what I'm
yeah.
saying it would have happened if she was in the country.
I know
She
would have
just
too.
knew it was
And
happening. It's like,
she arranged
I'd
that
rather be in
perfect time. Let's drop
rather
that
be in France
information
when this
while I'm
happened.
over
Yeah,
there. Exactly.
exactly.
So she wouldn't have to hear about it probably, and all the baby whiners and all that. But yeah, the other thing that's happening is, and we kind of predicted this right at the beginning when it came out. The Disney World Star Wars themed galactic cruise line is closing down in September. They are
That was a
closing the doors.
symbol of like money hungry.
Sure.
like level of money hungry
Yeah.
that Disney have gotten with the franchise. That's
Well,
all I saw
it's
with that
out
place.
of
It's
league
crazy
for
they're going to
for the
close it
night.
and not
Yeah.
like greatly lower the price and let people at least use it as a hotel
Yeah.
for like until
Yeah.
they
Well,
need
it must have been
to tear it
expensive
down.
to it's expensive to make, so
Oh,
they're probably
totally.
just
Yeah.
trying to at least break even, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, people were still going to this thing,
Yeah.
but like, I've seen videos of like people just like talking about it and
Yeah.
showing how it actually is, and it
Right.
looks not fun, like not worth the amount.
Oh,
Like,
as for the workers, yeah, people were abusing the workers that were there. People were,
no, I'm not
they
talking
were
about.
doing
I'm
17-hour
talking about
days.
the
Oh,
experience
oh, the
itself for how
experience.
much it costs. I would
Oh,
rather
sure.
fly
Yeah.
to Japan
Yeah.
or like go to another country for that cost, instead of going
Less
into.
than that cost. Someone I know said that they had a friend that went to Japan for 2 weeks and spent less than it costs for the trip to go to
Yeah,
to that.
and you're
It's like, yeah,
spending that much to stay in a room with no windows that
yeah,
has like a monitor that's supposed to be space.
yeah.
Nothing
No,
in it like seemed like it made any sense or like was worth that much money. It's
yeah,
insane. I can't
yeah,
believe they actually thought people were gonna fall for that. I mean, people
yeah,
did, but to the
yeah.
point where they'd actually turn profit.
The only way this would actually work is if they actually had a real spaceship up in outer space that you could actually
Yeah.
take off and fly around, and then, but it's
But still,
still,
then you're just like
yeah,
not focused on Star Wars. You're looking at the
yeah,
Earth. You're like that's
yeah,
Earth. Why would
yeah,
you be looking at like fake props like around in your hotel when
yeah.
you're like can stare at Earth from outer space?
There you go. But no,
I'd rather stay in a Danish prison than than a weekend at this place. Just kidding.
yeah,
Yeah, you just need to go to some like crazy observation tower or something hotel, where you just have
yeah,
crazy.
No, the concept looks good. It's one of those things that like, you hear a concept about this and you're like, oh,
yeah,
that's cool. That would be really
yeah,
cool if they did it. But that would
sure,
be insane if they actually did.
yeah.
And then they actually did it.
But then they made it unavailable, for anyone but the 1%ers who could
It's just
actually afford it.
that's just
Yeah,
reality. You're
yeah,
putting all this. I
yeah.
like
And they're not gonna,
Enzo,
and they're not going to go back
he's making
twice
an
a year.
appearance. Look, he's floating.
and
Bounce, bounce.
here's my son.
Oh,
Hey,
he disappeared. There he is.
Enzo. Hello, Enzo. Wow, he's growing so quickly.
Oh yeah, dude. And his hair. There's so much hair
Yeah,
for
I
a
know.
baby.
Yeah, that's a lot
Yeah,
of hair.
yeah. That kid's gonna be a wild anime character.
Mhm.
But yeah, along with that, yeah, yeah, it was predictable.
What are your thoughts on the whole
Hmm.
galactic cruise as like a concept and just a thing? Like,
Again, I think it's a cool idea, but the price range just is ridiculously high. But it couldn't be anything but if you have to pay that many people to work 17-hour days. I mean, these people have to work
was it that like
crazy
they ever
hours.
kept them on shift that long, huh?
Some people were on shifts that long, yeah, and it was just like, it just seems like
Like, isn't
it
Galaxy's
was.
Edge immersive enough? Like,
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, let's compare it to Galaxy's Edge. So Galaxy's Edge, A, it's affordable. B, the environment is outdoors. And C, you could probably have a small, without it being a hotel, you could actually have a small part of that. And I think they do with, again, I haven't been on Rise of Resistance, but there is elements that they could have done within Disney and change it, convert it up, and
that's the
made it
main thing I hear. Like,
much quicker.
everything that Galaxies or the Galactic Cruise was trying to do, you
Yeah,
get at the Age of the
sure,
Resistance.
absolutely. Yeah,
Like that's the level of immersion that you get, and
yeah,
it's really good.
yeah,
But like to try to stretch that out for like a couple days,
yeah.
I don't
And
know.
and,
If they
and,
had to
and
It'll
go,
die off
those
quickly.
couple of
Not
days, one
magic.
of those days is visiting, Galaxy's Edge anyway. So
like, how long did it take for them to make this thing? And not once did someone think this was a bad idea.
yeah,
Like they went through all of this, making it, training the actors, coming up with all of the events and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
and
They
they
could have done it on a
still,
very
after
small
all of
scale. Oh, yeah.
after all
yeah,
those years, thought it was still a good idea,
yeah,
and then they did it,
yeah,
and it
uh,
failed
yeah,
massively.
very quickly. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously,
They could have made it a resort instead of like being on
sure.
a spaceship and
Yeah,
like use the natural environment. There's going to be like night and day, like on any planet. You could make it like in a crater where you don't see the outside world,
like
and just
Galaxy's Edge, just like you're
a
kind of
bigger
just
Galaxy's
hidden
Edge,
from
but
anything.
make a
Just
resort out of
dedicate
it to where you're
dedicate
you're
a
not,
whole
like,
park
in.
to Star Wars, if anything,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Even
I
with
think it
small
was
and attached,
it was like, remember like pre-COVID, there was this whole like boost on like immersive experiences. That was like a lot of work I had before COVID hit. So I think it was like they came up with it around then, and they just kind of ran with it even after all of this whole mess.
Well, COVID didn't help either because they were still in the middle of it when they opened.
But that was like the pre-COVID world was like immersive experience after the next.
But
you
nobody's
had like
been
museums and stuff like that. And they're like, you know what? Let's tap into that energy.
Yeah.
Except we'll combine that with Royal Caribbean Cruise and Star Wars. It can't fail.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was an
everything on
expensive
paper-
test.
Yeah, but they just weren't predicting on how cynical the world got post-COVID.
That's it.
And how damaged everyone was. We're like, this is the last thing we need.
Yeah.
It's like an immersive experience in a fantasy world that costs too much money.
Yeah.
When like, worker rate, like living wages aren't even acceptable, and everyone's like struggling just to like
correct. Yeah. Exactly.
Live. You're gonna give them this thing and be like, hey, you should come to this.
So
Take
I'm curious
little
as
money
to what
you
they're
have
gonna,
left and do this.
I'm curious as to what they're going to do with it. I wonder if they're going to keep it as a Star Wars theme, something or other.
I'm saying Disney prison.
Well, I mean, or is it just going to be like?
I mean, when they say they're
gutted
closing
on the
it, it sounds
inside,
like they're closing it. Like, why would they say they're? They would say they're if they're saying they're closing it, they're closing it. If they're going to revamp it, they would have said,
but
we're making it like a hotel.
The building's still there.
The building's still there. It was built specifically for it. Well, if
they're just going to tear it apart, they do that time.
Well, it depends. It depends. If they were smart, Disney don't, and they've done. You've seen this year after year. Every time they change a ride out at Disneyland or switch something out, they will use as much of the same parts. That's what the part of the Imagineering team is designed to do. That they designed as much of the same parts that the structure and the form of what they actually would have to redress is easy enough for them to
pretty generic
and cost effective
already.
So the fact that it's a space
station.
For example, they're doing that with Splash Mountain. They're just rebranding.
Correct. Yeah.
To make it like
but spending and they did it with
Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
No, the other the mansion one.
They turned that into like two different things too.
Yep. They
that elevator one they did. Yeah. They turned the Guardians of the Galaxy
Correct.
or something like
that. So basically, their structure is going to be repurposed. But the question is, do they repurpose it as a hotel room, as just another hotel room,
or no windows?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, or do they repurpose it as a shopping area? I mean, imagine if that was a shopping area for Star Wars, and all they do is just put shops, and anyone could walk in and out. I'd be in there every day.
Yeah. Well, so like each hotel room or whatever would just be like turned into something else.
Yeah, a shop or a kind of a general public kind of thing, but the way they could actually remake money and keep little things going on there, that would be the smart thing to do, because to rebuild a Star Wars design across that whole thing is just to make it a standard hotel would be costly. So I'll be curious to see the outcome of what they redo with that space in the future and how they repurpose it in the future. Technically, as I said, they went in designing this knowing that if there is a chance that it fails, which it has, that it has to be easily and quickly and cost efficiently converted into something else. And so the question is, do they stick with a Star Wars themed conversion to make it something else, or do they gut it and just do something, again, hotel rooms or whatever? I don't know.
It's just the thing about hotels, like they can't really be anything else. Just like because of the architecture and the way it's put together. There's really nothing else you can do with those rooms. I think the closest thing I could think of is a prison. Like
a prison.
Because like doesn't Disney have their own police force?
I do believe so. Yes. I mean, it looks like a prison from the outside, doesn't it?
Yeah, so
It's
like
it's
it
not a
makes
pretty looking
sense
building from exterior.
structurally to
they'll make
any.
it the Andor prison. It's like you get those big shoes that like lock
Yeah,
down shoes.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be kind of
Yeah.
yeah,
sweet.
And
Yeah,
you're
they
like in
just
prison. You're like, no, you stay in your bunk for this time.
yeah
And if
they
you're
just
like
yeah.
got
Just give
glowing
it like
red,
a
then you die.
yeah
and yeah, it's like laser tag. You just like buzz. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
you're out of the game. Sorry, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's like the Andor prison experience.
yeah.
The whole time
And
you're
then
there, you have to put together things for Disney, or you
yeah,
or you don't get to stay the night for free or
Yeah,
whatever.
yes.
you're
You have
just
to work
building
your
building
Yeah.
Star Wars toys, just like assembling
Hey,
it
you have
for
to
their
work for
shop.
12 hours a day, like nonstop, and then you get to sleep for free.
Mickey Mouse child labor working in
Exactly.
the Star Wars mines of Kessel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
spice.
Yeah. Yeah, otherwise, apart from that, I mean, it's a pretty short day. There really was not a lot of news this past week. There was no new shows that we watched, no new movies, really.
I saw Mario at the
Oh,
theater
you did?
finally,
Okay,
yeah.
what'd you think?
Oh, I
fun.
didn't see it yet.
It was
Oh, you
fun.
didn't see-
It's
I like
on
it.
Paramount. Dude, try having a kid, dude.
I know,
Yeah,
yeah, good
I
There's
know.
just
point. Fair
no
enough.
time for that.
Fair enough,
Like, I
mean, it's
totally
like,
would.
It's so short.
I
that
am
the
movie is-
choice.
Isn't it going to be cool though, Jason, when he's like old enough that you can take him to these movies?
Yeah.
When I went the other day, there was two other people in the theater, so you could probably
Really?
just bring him in there and I don't know.
Well, it's streaming now on.
Really?
You can get it. You catch it
Oh,
streaming
okay.
now. You know.
Fair enough.
But I enjoyed it. It was fun. I liked what they
Yeah.
did with the characters, and the look of it was all super nice. And finally, it was like it all worked. It's nice for the Mario world.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat, guys. Sorry.
All good.
Yeah, we turned into prison. Yeah. Yeah, we could. Yeah, I think we definitely should put in suggestions on what the Galaxy Cruise Line should be converted into. The prison is definitely the best one. That's the top of the tier there.
Yeah,
That's what it's designed after. No
Yeah.
windows.
it looks like
tiny
it.
rooms.
It looks like the indoor
Like
prison.
there's really nothing else you can do with that would
Yeah.
make sense.
No, totally. Yeah, for sure.
This thing had
No,
no
wait, it's
chance.
like that's an idea. They're gonna take it now.
Uh-huh.
Disney, if they hear this, they'll be like, "Wait,
They
a
got to
minute.
do that's
It does look like a prison."
the most
Yeah.
interesting thing to come out of this story because like what do you do with this after
Yeah.
you have it all made and built?
Right.
Like you're gonna have to do something with it.
That would work because you don't need anybody to entertain you. You just need the
Mm-hmm.
guys ushering you in and out. Sleep. That's it. That's all you're here for. Get in, get out. Like
Each room has a toilet. It's just like the bare necessities for surviving.
And
Like,
as long as I'm building little Mickey Mouse dolls and they're each getting
people
a
would
part
pay
to
for
build
that
it.
at a lower cost. If they could just
and
stay there.
the fact that they were charging people that much for that too,
Sure.
it's
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, I understand where there's a certain amount of expense, but you got to pay all the crew, you got to pay whatever.
they're-
But it's still a matter of it's such a ridiculous turnover price that how
Because
could,
cruises are already insane, right?
Yeah. Sure.
But
Yeah.
you're going somewhere.
yeah, and you're outdoors, you get the fresh air on your
You're on the
face.
ocean.
Yeah.
But like to do that in a building,
Yeah, I know.
this is like the
Anyway.
peak of decadence right there of
Yeah.
like of ripping people off.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. And it says a lot about. I mean, that's a Disney move, totally. It just like puts them right and like.
Oh, I mean, I give them credit for trying something new. I mean, it definitely was
I
innovative.
give them credit for
but it also was
reaching-
ridiculously out of reach.
for reaching new levels of like shameless capitalism. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give them that, which is
Yeah.
Disney's MO.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, there also might be, money invested that's in there that's, as a failed business or a failed side business. It could be a reason why they're closing it is the fact that they actually be making money back off of a place like that is a possibility too.
yeah, it's the
I
same
mean,
reason.
we
you,
know
like,
that
lay-
they're bleeding.
same reason
money
you
to steal.
lay off a bunch of people too. You know,
Sure, yeah, which they obviously had to do there too. So, which is kind of sad. That's the downfall of it. There's all these people that did put a lot of creative, effort into portraying characters and lounge singers and this and that, and they all get, released. It's like,
I know. There's that girl kind of just has to leave with Ray on her acting as Ray as one of her main jobs that she's
oh
had.
right,
Oh
for
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Just-
yeah.
I played Ray. I could handle that.
Well,
lightsaber
she's still
that
a
she designed.
Galaxy's Edge. Oh, the one who's on the actual. Oh, good point. Yeah, there's one. I forgot there's one on the bridge of the.
They're gonna move her to a different princess, and they're like, "Wait a minute,
Yeah,
you can't be
yeah,
Belle
yeah.
now."
They
No,
might
she'll
keep
just
her.
She'll just be on the schedule for Galaxy's Edge.
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
all.
she'll be back in the theme.
Which they probably just switched, right? They
Switch
should
her
probably
out.
do that. And
Maybe,
Yeah, it
maybe
works
not.
both.
It
I mean, it
depends.
makes sense, right? You got a Ray
Right, but
So
the
just like-
Galaxy's Edge. There
for
was
extra hours. You're just walking around taking pictures with kids, dude.
but there's a physicality to what they were doing. They were putting on a small show, so the people who were walking around with kids may not be, physically inclined to actually put on the stunts or whatever it may be. I never saw the show, but it seemed like there was still a certain amount of stunt work and performance work.
Yeah, but she could
there.
still, if she could act on stage, she could totally just walk around.
Sure, could
Galaxy's
be.
Edge too.
Could
Easy.
Maybe she just
You
go
just
back on the
just
line
pay the same person.
Yeah.
It'd be less paperwork,
for sure. Yeah. Well, as I said, it was an interesting week because of Disney, because of what they kind of shut down, and they shut down quite a bit this week. Sorry,
Man, it all just started to go down once that dragon caught on fire, huh?
Yeah, that was the start of it. Hang on.
That was it.
No.
But yeah, did you see that? Or what are you guys' thoughts on the new Splash Mountain? I think it's closing this month, I guess.
I thought it
Splash
closed
Mountain.
months ago. They've been rebuilt.
I think this last
week.
this last week was like its last week.
Oh, really? I thought they'd already
Okay.
started renovating.
No,
Okay.
my
I thought they had
cousin
years.
lives
I
in-
thought they were working on it a long time ago myself.
Yeah, but like this is like the last time you get to see it as what it was.
As of what it was. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Because I know that they re-renovated Haunted Mansion. I saw the trailer for that dropped this week too.
Redid it like completely.
Apparently so. They were doing an upgrade to modernize it a whole lot more. So I don't know what the upgrades are. I know it opened recently. I'm pretty sure it reopened recently, but this is in Disneyland at least. And maybe it's Disney World as well. But they went through this whole.
I know, but for Splash
big
Mountain,
renovation.
they're totally rebranding. Like it's a
Sure, no, they're rebranding that. Yeah,
yeah.
I think they're
Which is
rebranding. Yeah, they're connecting what they're doing. The release of the new movie has got something to do with the reopening of.
Or what?
For Haunted Mansion is going to be the same.
Oh.
Too.
Oh, the new.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
They're trying to tie in that IP.
I guess
so you
no,
see
they
the
did that with
movie, you
They
go
did that
see
with
it.
Pirates too. Just like
Yeah, sure.
more aligned with the movie
Yeah,
that's coming out.
That's where I was going with the splash with the with them.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the Haunted Mansion movie.
Yeah.
It's like what's her name? Tiffany Haddish. It's like her last role, right?
All right.
Because like she got caught up on some like weird like kidnapping stuff. I don't want to get into it,
Okay. All right.
but and so like when I saw this trailer, I was like, Tiffany Haddish, this gotta have been her last role. That she
Oh, I don't
got.
know who that is, but okay. Yeah. Apart from that, guys, I mean, there's not much else news. It's a pretty quiet week. We might kind of call it a short one today. Got some things I got to do this afternoon too. So, yeah. So, Jason will be on your stream probably on Wednesday evening, talking about more AI stuff. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Apart from that, not much going on. Everybody out there in chat, thank you so much for joining us for today. Please like and subscribe for those people listening later if you have not already. And then, yeah, no new TV shows, so we haven't got anything to react to. So I definitely will drop some of the. Maybe we'll just do some, occasional shows. We'll watch a few something or other, and we'll react to it. I don't know. We've got the Indiana Jones one we did a little while ago that we can drop on there too.
Yeah.
But with young Indiana
Should we
Jones,
just watch the Indiana Jones movies?
we could probably rewatch them. Yeah, I mean, again,
Or
they
like
come out
made
next
an
month.
end episode of Young Indiana Jones?
Possibly. There's nothing much to
Be
react
okay
to
with,
those.
would you be okay with us tearing that show apart, Brent?
Well, here's the thing. It's like
We wouldn't have time to like. What do you
there's just
think,
nothing to
bombarding the
react
whole
to.
thing?
There's nothing too much to react to on it sort of stuff. I'd
It's
rather.
an old ass show. That's plenty.
Yeah, it's pretty old.
Fair
It's just
enough.
it'd be so dated. It would be pretty dated.
Yeah,
don't-
I
I
think
don't know
like
about that.
reacting to how dated it is, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. I've never seen it, and like maybe just it struggles with having a relatively
definitely-
low budget
definitely-
compared to the
yeah.
movies.
Maybe,
It's definitely
but-
sentimental for
but
you.
it's it's
But
yeah.
Brent, without hurt
There's
to
nothing.
watch us all talk shit about something
Yeah.
you love so much.
No, but it's like yeah, but then when you're talking, you miss out what half the dialogue is, and it's kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
But
Well,
there's
I
just
watched the
nothing. There's
subtitles,
nothing
so.
to react to from memory of that show. It was just a kind of it was
So what you're saying is not worth watching then?
no, it was nothing to react to the way.
That's kind of what you're saying.
God.
That is exactly what you're saying.
No!
Brent.
That is what you're saying.
There
It
was
is kind of what
nothing
you're saying.
big.
It
There
was
was
like,
nothing.
so I shouldn't watch
There
it.
was
There's nothing
no,
really to talk about, but it was good.
Not
there was
interesting, is
there
what
was
he's
no
saying.
there was no Darth Vader fighting Obi-Wan Kenobi moments in Indiana Jones, of Young Indie
Well, that's
Chronicles.
not the reason to. There's no Darth
There-
Vader
there- but
fighting
there-
Loki.
Yeah, but there is one with Harrison Ford in it though, which is kind of a cool episode. Like a good story, but then he's only in it
like,
at five
"Fine,
minutes.
I'll be in it."
He's in it for a minute at the beginning and about a minute and a half at the end.
I'll
of
do the
episode.
damn show.
I'll do the damn show. Yeah,
$10 million he got for that appearance.
I don't know.
It's like you could see the budget cuts
Uh-huh.
in the whole season when he
Just
shows up.
Harrison Ford. No, they went around the world.
So
shooting
what?
that.
Did we? I mean, let's try one episode. Should we try it, Brent?
We could try it. Yeah, we'll do
I've
the
never seen
pilot.
them.
Last episode,
well,
the
actually,
We've never
beginning.
seen them, so it would be kind of interesting.
The pilot
I mean,
episode would be good. The
it's
pilot because
it's-
there's a good 2-hour pilot, which is kind of
Yeah.
sets up. It sets
2
up some fun stuff.
hours.
Well, it's over 2 parts.
Never mind.
It's an hour and a half long. Whatever. Think of it as a little mini movie. That's what they are. They're little. In fact, they are broken up into 3 arcs, 3-story arcs or 4-story arcs, as mini movies.
Lost Arcs.
Ha ha ha! Boom boom. Alrighty.
I'd like to
Okay.
see this. Let's see if it lives up to the hype that Brent's been telling me for years about how great this show is.
I learned something more after watching them about history of the early 20th century. That's what I'm going to say about it. I learned more about based around taking us on a journey through India. Shut up!
It's cool. I watched
Like, if it wasn't for this show, I wouldn't know who Cleopatra was.
Cleopatra's not in it, but just watch it for yourself.
I wouldn't
Simple as
know
that.
about the Donner Party.
All right.
You guys know there was a Vietnam War.
Yeah,
Oh my God, you guys are
I
impossible.
wouldn't know who Franz Ferdinand was if it wasn't for this
yeah.
show.
Fair enough. All right.
Is that
guys.
how you learn about most history, Brent, from this show?
What?
Everything in like the
No,
the century?
it's George Lucas. He's a historian buff when it comes to telling stuff that took place in history. He just puts a nice twist on it. That's simple as that. It's
All right.
No, but I'm
Whatever
asking, like,
thing
would
is
you have known if it wasn't for the show?
Huh?
It's just
I
funny
would
that
have known about certain.
This is your
there are
supplement of American history, or like,
No. It's around the world and
I mean, world history.
History,
through
but
this
they.
show.
But they.
I guess that's what it shows. It works. If you could teach someone like Brent about
That's
history
it.
through a show,
That's it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what makes
mission
it so
accomplished
Good. It's
for
Boom.
edutainment. You know,
But it's also deals with people and events that you may not have ever heard of that George Lucas has studied up on. So that's an interesting event to put Indiana Jones passing through this thing. It's not. I mean, there is a whole story around World War One, and Indiana Jones is there during that course. So that's interesting. But then they break off and do the whole French Resistance stuff, and I've also know a lot of that history. But then they'd go and do an episode that was based around malaria in Africa. And about from memory, I think it was about a doctor who was there at the time and was actually solving these different things, and so they take
Finding
different
cures.
historical people and they make it interesting. And George Lucas made it interesting as a historical learning channel kind of thing. And
yeah, it's
based
like
around
what
the
we
character you
learned
love.
from just like Temple of Doom.
Yeah, and it also kind of adds to the whole concept of who Indiana Jones is as a person. Why he learns so many languages. You get to learn why that process. Who tells him to, study the language in different cultures, and there's a certain character that tells him, and it's like, that's really cool. So there's this element that is fun and cool about that show. Anyway,
So we shouldn't react to this, is what you're saying?
I don't know, maybe not. We could react to it. I just don't remember it being like, oh my God, there's no shock horror or over the top.
We don't need that. We don't. We could
Fair enough.
react to
Okay.
something.
All
I
right.
mean,
So
it's
maybe
better than
maybe
having nothing.
then maybe we'll do the Mystery of the Peacock's Eye, which is the opening 2-part episode that does hit in the action adventure genre a little bit in areas. So,
I
anyway.
mean, they should all, right? That's what it is.
No, but it's not. It's supposed to be. What do you mean, action adventure?
No, that I mean, that what Indiana Jones is like. Not
Well,
all
that's
the
what.
episodes touch on action
Yeah,
adventure,
but this
or
is young Indiana Jones, so it's really about history and learning and history and anyway, whatever. All right, guys.
it's like you're talking about like where in the world's Carmen San Diego or something like.
I
It's
never watched
making
that.
it sound like.
I never watched it. Anyway, all right, guys. I think we'll call it a day here. So thanks for joining us, and
Right.
we shall catch you next time.
Pick another target, military target.